often like to think of it as something that just is. But too many people let the past determine who they are. When true greatness is determined by how one deals with the present. So if I'm helping you, I have one condition.
Yeah. No more quitting.
Time is a gift, Isom. What are you gonna do with yours?
What is up, everybody? I appreciate y'all, of course, joining me live. I know nowadays it's just random. I kind of just pick and choose my spots. It's not really anything coordinated since we, for Cannon's sake, is on a little bit of a hiatus. But either way, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me for a couple of hours tonight. And I'm joined by a good friend, my man's Gary from Nerdrotic. Man, how you doing?
I am doing well, Eric. Thank you for having me on. Got a lot to talk about. Got a lot coming up in the next week or two. Kind of exciting.
We do. We're going to talk about all that actually here in a bit. I do want to first and foremost, as I share this real quick, I did not have my screen share yet, so let me get that fixed right now. There we go.
All right.
Bam.
I see we were like, what, 1 minute late? 30 late, and I get blamed.
But big shout out to every single one of you guys. Thank you all. We are at 1.86 million. Thank you. I appreciate you. 1,200. We're over 1,200 for that new cover D that just dropped not too long ago, and I believe they're still available. Yes, they are. So for you guys that missed out on this announcement, I believe that was yesterday. We just said fuck it. We said we weren't going to do it at first, and then we got a lot of demands, a lot of questions. So that's the benefit of having kind of the boots to the ground, is you get to pivot whenever you want. So we figure we go ahead and just drop the Isom 2 cover D's with the signature series CGC graded. You can get those right now. They are available. I believe we're like right at 200 or right under 200 still available. So those are going fast. You might want to hurry up and get in on those. I'd imagine by the end of the weekend, they're going to be pretty, not too many are going to be available, definitely as people get paid. But I did want to let you all know that is now available. So go check that out if you have not already. And again, I appreciate every single one of you guys for the continued support. So I want to go ahead and say this because, now it's pretty much been announced. I will be at San Diego Comic-Con. Next week. You can catch me there Thursday and Friday. Those will be the main days I'll be there. If you want to check us out, I will give you guys something a little more formal soon enough that'll let you guys know the times and everything, because we will be there. I will be doing something with Gabe at his deal as well. Out at his booth. Gabe El Taib was the colorist of Isom 1, so you can come and Isom 1 and 2. You come hang out with us there. I'll also be I'll be at CGC, I believe at 12 o'clock, but let me get that confirmed. We'll have something formal. I'll be doing some CGC signings at the CGC booth. So you can catch us there. And on Thursday, I believe it's 4 local time-ish, I will be speaking on a panel with the great Chris Gore. I think Andy Noah's on it as well, as they're talking about indie filmmaking and survival in that regard. So we'll be talking about like the animation and all that as well. Just so much, many different things. So you'll catch me. And of course, Gary Quarterblack's going to be there as well, right?
That's right.
Press passes and all. So you'll be able to come holla at both of us, show some love. So we will be there. Of course, like I said, I'll get you guys something more formal of an announcement. We'll put it on the website. We'll get some graphics, all that stuff out, so you guys can know the exact times and where I'll be on those days. But so big shout out to everybody that kind of made that, of course, happen. This was something that we kept getting questions about, and I was like, all right, are we gonna do this? Are we gonna do this? And here we go. we're going to be there. So it's going to be fun. It'll be a very fun time. I'm pretty sure there are some people that I've actually already saw that there are some people that are not happy at all with that. So it's going to be a blast as far as I'm concerned. I know that me and Gary there as well, official with passes and all. I know that makes y'all fucking angry, but whatever.
I hope it does. I mean, I kind of blew it on Normal World. Right before the show, I'm like, yeah, I was telling Chris to kind of keep it quiet, but now that we're closer to the event, and I already messaged you this, I'm like, we need to blast this everywhere. And to prove to most detractors what a small minority they are, and that Comic-Con will not do anything. This panel will happen no matter what people do or say. And on the outside crazy chance that they canceled the panel with you on it, oh God,
that would blow up. That would be the worst.
Monetizing your haters.
Oh man, that would be the worst thing if they somehow cancel the panel because of that. That would be the worst thing if they did. This campaign is going to hit 5 million easy if they do that. So that would be a grave mistake if they certainly did that. But yeah, so far so good. We'll be there hanging out. So like I said, I'll get you guys something formal in the next couple of days, probably tomorrow. We'll get you guys something more formal and let you guys know the exact time of what's going on. But there's a lot of different things that came into play, even with the Comic-Con stuff. So I want to actually talk about some of that. I went over this article today. You guys saw me go through this. It's coming from Deadline, and Hollywood studios are preparing. Basically, what it sounds like is gonna happen is they're gonna hit them where it hurts, and they ain't got any anticipation, any desire to really have any conversation until these motherfuckers are broke as fuck. So that's gonna be interesting, and that's gonna be intriguing. You guys can of course check my video out about this. But Gary, I know you're a little more tapped in with a lot of what's going on than I am. What do you think of all this shit?
This coming out, we had not heard the producer side at all on anything, and this coming out is just, we knew this. The state of writing is so awful. Sure, there's some good shows, but for every good show, there's 20 or 30 like dog shit shows.
Yeah.
And what this strike, the reason the producers wanted this strike to happen is because it's their fault, by the way. I'm not taking the producer side. I want to preface this. I'm on nobody. I'm on the fan side. I'm on the paying customer side. I am just watching these guys beat the shit out of each other and see what happens. But the producers wanted this to happen because they, like a coked out moron in Vegas, gave a bunch of writers a bunch of like upfront deals during the streaming bubble that just made no sense. And it's, as you say, it's unsustainable. They gave Jar Jar Abrams $500 million at Warner Brothers to produce a show that they nixed, and another animated Batman show that ended up on Amazon or Netflix. I can't remember which one took it, but and that's the redo of the Batman animated series with Bruce Timm, but no Paul Dini. So that's a huge difference, and it's probably going to be woke animated Batman. And Phoebe Waller-Bridge was given $30 million by Amazon. She hasn't produced anything. So these producers got themselves in a lot of trouble, and this is kind of like their bankruptcy.
Yeah.
This is
their way to put it.
This is their bankruptcy. So they are purging the writers, and in this article they just said, we're going to wait your ass out. And honestly, the amount of content, and that's all it is content that we've gotten over the last 2 years is about 5 years worth of content. So they could spread that out.
Oh, for sure.
Pretty easily. It'll still suck, but they could spread it out. And quite frankly, they could wait the writers out forever. For one, they're the money. And two, the writing should be a gig economy. It shouldn't be. I'm not sorry. It shouldn't be unionized.
I agree.
The best writers are going to get paid no matter what their union says. Unions are gatekeepers. They are to keep people out.
Yeah.
And what they do is they protect bad employees. That's what they do. And the Writers Guild is filled with a bunch of bad employees. Guilds and unions are Marxist anyway. As an individualist and into decentralizing everything, I hate everything about them. But they exist, and and if you sign a deal, you should honor that deal. But there is no, for one, they fear AI for good reason. AI is going to completely change the industry, and quite frankly, they were late on this. But I mean, they have no argument. I said it in my last video. You've said it a lot. I have watched a lot of their content, and they should not have jobs. They not be on strike. They should not have jobs. These are not talented writers. We need people of talent. Terrible.
They are, and for sure. This is what really summarizes it all. Everybody, I'll read it real quick. It says again, this is straight from Deadline. It says the end game is to allow things to drag on until union members start losing their apartments and losing their houses, and that's what a studio executive told Deadline, acknowledging the cold as ice approach. Several other sources reiterated the statement. One insider called it a cruel but necessary evil. So they are in a position. They're the ones with all the money. They are the ones with the property. So really, I don't know what bargaining chip the writers actually have here, as well as their stupid unions. But the point that I brought up in my video, I was like, I'm looking at the budgets, not just with the films, but also with the TV as well. And I just don't understand how they're spending that much money. And I'm like, are these guys getting paid way too much? But between the unions, which I believe are that probably got them into this mess, and just the sheer amount of jobs that exist within this industry that are totally unnecessary. None of it could possibly be based on merit. You got you got a job for the job that has a job, and it makes no sense. And there's not ever gonna, that wasn't a sustainable thing anyway. I guess you could ride on it. It was a little high that you had there for a moment, but actually sustaining that just completely reckless spending that they were giving from writers, producers, and what have you. This was bound. This was a bubble. Let's say that was bound to pop at some point. And now it's just hitting the fan. And now you're seeing who really has the negotiation power. And the point that I brought up as well was like, look, I do believe between the AI stuff, between this, the spending efforts, like this industry, filmmaking in general, is going to fundamentally and has been fundamentally changing, right? Like it's going to change. It's not going to look like what it did before. And really, I think what it does is I think we spoke about this. I can't remember if it was on Tuesday night's main event or something, Gary, where, at some point it's going to, it will morph into maybe this more decentralized deal, but that puts the advantage to the folks like ourselves, to the guys that are able to stick and move. I just talked about this with like the Riververse, and we once had an idea that we were going to do this. We were going to produce this. We weren't going to produce this particular item. And then we just said, okay, the audience demands it. We're going to now produce it. They can't do something even that simple, because these are ideas that are thought about and planned years ahead of time, and they can't really pivot. Yeah, we see with movies and reshoots and stuff, but largely money spent is money spent. So that puts the advantage to the creators, and that are, I guess, detached from the unions, from the filmmaking industry. And I'm very intrigued and interested in how this is going to fundamentally change and where that's going to land, because I don't exactly know. It's something that I welcome, but I don't exactly know how it's going to end up. What I do know is there's a lot of people that call themselves writers. There are a lot of people that are in these positions that are not creating anything that really has a demand. So I don't know what the fuck you're paying them for in the first place. In between your stupid quotas that you have within your own unions, within your own filmmaking, is they painted themselves in a corner, which is why I love the way that you bring it up. Taking any of these idiots' sides, you can't really do that. It's like just watching a bloodbath kind of happen, because you look at them doing it to themselves. Like they have just as much a hand in and doing themselves in. When you look at, and I've covered it a million times, I know you have as well, like these fools can't even make certain films with a particular type of makeup because of rules that they've levied on themselves.
Yes.
Right. So you can't be eligible. And of course, they love to pat each other on the back. So you can't even be eligible for certain awards because you have to have this, this amount of diversity here, X percentage of this type of makeup. And it's just making for all around bad product and bad producers. And that's a terrible combination here. And like I said, I don't know what it's going to look like. I'm interested. We'll be talking about this a little bit next week for sure at the panel with Chris Gore. But fuck, am I intrigued, man? I'm fucking intrigued.
I think this leads to possibly a new independent movement. They happen over time. They cycle through trends. It's not unusual. And within those independent movements, people sell out. I mean, it's just, and the wheel goes on and on. Hopefully what feels different this time is, for one, the Hollywood studio model is dying. The two biggest players aren't Disney and aren't Warner Brothers. They're Amazon. And you could say the other one is Netflix. But Apple has the more liquid cash than either of them to just spend and drive to their website. But they haven't made a mark yet, in my opinion, in filmmaking. They've had some critical darlings, but nobody's watching their shit. Okay, so you talked about being able to pivot. You were able to do that cover, which I need to still buy.
Yeah.
I'm going to spoil a little bit in my next video because I talk about the independent movement and you guys a little bit towards the end. And of course, every time I'm happy Disney fails and you are, a little clapback comes like, you want people to fail? You want people to lose their jobs? Oh my God. It's like, when it's become this destructive, and not just to pop culture, to our culture.
Oh, for sure.
No, I'm not sad. When it comes to writers, I don't want you to starve, but more importantly, you have to not want you to starve.
True.
In other words, while you're on strike, you're a writer, write a fucking novel, write a comic book, write a play, do something that isn't union, write a do something. But you know what? A lot of them can't because it's against their own rules that they put against themselves. So you're starving and it's your damn fault. It's your own damn fault. It's like, oh, I can't possibly write. The union said, you know what the union is? It's another fucking boss. That's all it is. It's somebody else telling you what to do because you want to be cradled. You want to be accepted by mama corporation and suck on the teat of corporation all the time. And it makes you feel safe and it gives you an identity when you never really had one and they don't give a fuck about you. Ask comic book writers about unions. Ask novelists about unions. You know why we still occasionally get some good independent comics and some good novels? They're not unionized.
True. That's a fact.
There are people going out and getting it. And that it's a gig economy. And that's what it should be. That's exactly. And that's where we'll get the best stuff. That's where the best writers will come through. And you know what? It's cruel to make somebody think they're a writer when they're actually not.
Yeah.
You know, you might hear that news earlier. You know what I'm saying? You know,
these people, no, they're delusional, man. Like straight up fucking delusional. And you know, we see the examples of them failing upward, which is remarkable. I mean, we've seen that even in the mainstream comic book industry. We see it in their writers' rooms, and for one, they'll have 14 different damn writers on any given show or movie or whatever, what have you. But yeah, that's just it's not a sustainable thing. But again, I think the advantage does then come to the independents. But on a similar token, these guys I don't think that definitely these folks are actors, writers that are part of these various unions. I don't think they got it in them to be a part of that gig economy because it's uber competitive, right? And you're going to have to, there's no like, hey, you know, you're getting slid into a position. It doesn't really work like that on our side. It's about as close to merit as you can get, which is why I think they fear a lot of what's happening here. And then when you see the rise of these independents or rise of people that are succeeding in realms where they said that you weren't supposed to, you see what's happening with the Ripverse, you see what's going on with Sound of Freedom right now. It's the same thing. It's like, well, this is outside of our bubble. That's not supposed to happen. And therefore something is wrong, when really it's just that if you don't make the adjustments, I think most of the market is going to start looking like that at some point, and it may happen sooner than it is later. I mean, we're seeing massive amounts of changes, man, that are happening very quickly. I think the technology is maybe why that's happening, where you'll see something just shift, and it's like, wow, you know, this feels like an eternity ago, but it wasn't that long ago. Like even this whole stupid COVID stuff that we dealt with, that wasn't that long ago. We were still dealing with this shit. So it tells you just how quick things can shift and how quick public opinion, even on certain issues, and how they view a certain industry can just so fundamentally change. So it's exciting for me as a creative But I would be fucking if I'm them, because I know, you've been kind of just skirting by, not really having a lot of talent, not really having a lot of demand. Yeah, I'd be nervous as fuck if I was certainly them. So I don't know if Gary, what's happening with because didn't this whole plan, was it midnight going in today as far as this whole actors
yeah
deals?
it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
if
okay.
they don't have well, it's midnight tonight, so I think it's
Okay.
Pacific time.
Yeah.
So it's 5:51. So we're looking at 6 hours, a little over 6 hours, and they're going on strike. And well, they extended it, and it sounded like they were going to come up with a deal, but it really just sounds like the actors want to strike.
Yeah.
It really does. And AI likeness, like, sure, I would want some control over my likeness. But again, I would just do that through individual contracts I dealt with on my own.
Yeah.
But here's where AI is going to immediately change the industry, and it's not writing, and it's not like replacing actors. It is, Tom from Midnight's Edge just put up a tweet where somebody used AI to add to make it look like a TikTok screen. Forgot what the ratio is, but add to the scenery of Raiders of the Lost Ark. And he brought up, and Robert Meyer Burnett brought it up. It's like, wow, you could probably do this with aspect ratios. With 4.3, you can make it, you can do your 4Ks. But like 4K, the transfers are extremely expensive. You got to pay a lot of people, do a lot of metadata. That's what I used to do. That shit will be gone within a couple of years. Gone. Like AI will be able to refill the background of a movie. I'd say a few years at the absolute most. You know what else will be gone? Visual effects. You'll be able to, like, AI visual effects. Comic artists, some who are even against this, can take the AI. They'll be able to take an AI, reference their own work, and just fill in a background that they don't have to fucking waste time on. It's still their work. So it's a matter of how you use the tool, but it's absolutely going to change in metadata and CGI. Especially they're still going to use streaming. They're still going to make DVDs, and it'll be accessible to you and me. I mean, back in the day, you couldn't edit because some of the editing program was freaking thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. Then it creeped down to like $5,000. Then it creeped down to like $1,000. Now it's like, if you're clever enough, you can use any kind of even the free programs that kind of lag and still be a great editor. So all these tools that were so expensive, that's what created the film movement of the 70s. Equipment got cheaper. Film was still expensive, but now you don't have to deal with film. So it's easier now than ever to be an independent creator, and you don't need agents, and you don't need freaking fuck producers who don't know shit. You don't have to deal with some weirdo rich guy who wants his name on a movie or wants to fuck you on his couch. I don't know, like whatever's going on. Like, you don't have to deal with that shit anymore.
True.
So I mean, seeing Hollywood decentralized, and it already decentralized itself. Tyler Perry, never seen any of his movies, but he started a studio in Atlanta. And a lot of people are starting to go work in Atlanta. That's fucking great.
I did see that. Yeah. It's like, I don't know, man. I'm so excited. I know it brings a level of unfamiliarity and a big change to the status quo that so many people are like, I think that's more what people are protecting, is more of the familiarity, right? It's like I guess it came with a sense of comfort that people had when you saw various, like, I guess the status quo in the way that it is, when something was produced, distributed the way that it had always been done. So now that is being upended like very quickly, and the means are being even more decentralized than what they were prior to. And I think that's the fundamental game change I bring up all the time. Like, people are shooting crazy films with freaking mirrorless, like a DSLR of Sony. Like, it's insane what these people are able to do. And we've seen what's happened in our medium with like YouTube really replacing a lot of the more alphabet news agencies, and people don't trust them anymore. And it's a lot of folks that it comes with a set of legitimacy, the old guard, and they're going to be as very protective of that as possible, because like I said, they can't compete. This is not they didn't get in their positions by way of merit for the most part. A lot of these guys, it was, you know, pay to play, it was favors and all kinds of shit. And now it's just going to be a insanely competitive market that I just don't know if they have a spot in, and that's why they're going to be they'll go down with that chip, because really it's the last thing it is that they have. I mean, this is why so many people, I think, in our industry, with Marvels and DCs of the world, and even some of the major indies, which really they're just fucking, they cycle the same talent, it's the same shit for the most part. I think that's why they're so protective of that, because I don't think they have a spot. So they'll rather get paid late. They'll rather get paid low, for that matter, because that's really the only way that they're going to get paid. The only job that they're really going to get, because they're not really that talented. They don't really have the know-how. And again, that just comes with this set of unfamiliarity. And I welcome it. I welcome the unfamiliarity. I've said this a million times. Even if I didn't have a spot in this new kind of forming entertainment industry, I'd still think that it was a necessary change, because it is a necessary change. Economically, it's fundamentally it's a necessary change. It needs to catch up to the technology, and if it means more people thriving, then I'm all for that, and it being competitive and it being based on merit. So it's going to be interesting to keep an eye out. So we got that going into midnight. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens, because that shuts it all down.
Yeah.
So
because even with these movies, like would they be like like with these movies that are about to come out, like are they gonna be like not doing interviews and shit?
They can't. Yeah. So here I got a message passed on to me from somebody from Chris Gore, and I'll tell you exactly what their rules are. So like Deadpool 3 will shut down immediately. They get Hugh Jackman back, and you know, the actor strike will probably not go on as long as the writer's strike, unless the producers want this. So the writer's strike is going to fall, I'm guessing, till Christmas, which is insane.
That's
6
insane.
months. So that will delay Hollywood a year. You stop making movies right now, and then you have to bring all these crew members back. Add to. So think COVID part 2, but this one's self-inflicted, and it's probably worse, because the stuff they have been making has been shit, because it's already shit, but they can't rewrite. And that's why Marvel had to shut down pretty much across the board all of their productions, aside from Deadpool 3, because they require so many rewrites. So what Chris told me, here are the rules for SAG if they go on strike. It is the following. According to sources, SAG-AFTRA leaders sounded pretty certain during the call that there will be a strike in the information sessions this afternoon. Some names: the Guild's chief contractors officer and SAG-AFTRA communications boss, blah, 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 wrapping all things up, promotional activities, including press junkets by Friday, and the event strike. So after 140 publicists on the call were bluntly told that actors are not to do any work for any projects. To be crystal clear, that tool down includes taping routine promotional materials, like EPKs, or appearing at events like San Diego Comic-Con or the Emmys. So in other words, no junkets, no interviews, promoting films, no red carpets, no award shows. Emmys were just announced today. Emmys were just announced today, and they're going to be delayed 6 months, which is fine, because I wouldn't watch them anyway.
I wouldn't pay to get paid. That's big. That's huge. Yeah, because that would, I mean, you got a couple of movies that are coming out. I guess the promotional stuff on all that shit that's coming out later this month is just, it comes to a complete stop. And then what the hell is Comic-Con? If that goes through, what the hell is Comic-Con gonna do next week? I mean, imagine that.
They're going to talk to Eric July. They're going to bring him.
They're going to be, hey, can you do three panels?
Hall H. What's
bring
up, Demology?
Team. Bring everybody, man. Holy shit. We got to fill out. We got several rooms open. We'll probably have a fucking 3-hour panel, all kinds of shit. That's fucking crazy. Yeah, that's something worth obviously keeping an eye on. I'm intrigued by it. I want to see what happens for sure. But yeah, we got midnight going into tonight, y'all. And we'll see what the hell happens.
Let him strike.
Yeah, that's what I say.
I don't care. This is, I mean, we tried to warn you, Hollywood. We did. A comic industry, Hollywood. We spent years trying to warn you, and you called us racist, white supremacists, alt right. Don't even care anymore. But You can't. That had nothing to do with the argument. You never contradicted our argument with a decent argument at all. All you did was throw out pejoratives, throw out fucking names, but you never answered the question, why do you suck? Why do you suck? And now they're facing the consequences, and they still are, moving the goalposts, completely rationalizing, mentioning everything under the sun, including one article I read mentioned, well, there's no distribution in Russia right now. Well, I mean, these are all the motherfuckers you support. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
We were shut down for 2 years in California by a motherfucker you supported, and you're fighting with the guy who kept Disney World open right now, Ron DeSantis.
Yeah.
So like
true.
you're fucking idiots. For one, I mean, we have to kind of, like, what's the cause of all this? General incompetence. I think it's
100%.
general
100%.
incompetence.
Like
then
you
the
can't,
activists can come in.
yeah, you can't. I think there are some genuinely stupid people, again, because they're always late to the party, and late to arrive to conclusions that people had come to long ago. So that's why when we look at, like, damn, how the hell can they continue to lose in the form and fashion it is that they are in? Do they not see the obvious? And I'm like, what? These guys aren't smart people, especially actors. I mean, the whole kind of gig is really doing what you're told and saying what it is that you're told to. It's kind of part of the personality of being that. So you kind of got to expect that a lot of them don't got it all upstairs. But yeah, to see the sheer amount of self-inflicted wounds is interesting. So I keep seeing this whole deal. I don't know if it's confirmed. Did this whole Bob Iger getting extended confirmed?
Yes,
was it confirmed?
It is confirmed through Variety.
Oh my god!
Again, you were talking about, changing on a dime, and that's where we beat them, right?
Right,
So
right.
one of the articles I read is talks about, like, well, even if Disney wants to change and dial things back, you can't turn this big of a ship. So the soonest it's going to happen is, oh, look, it's the same date they just mentioned there, 2026. Now you add a complete shutdown of Hollywood, add another year minimum.
100%.
So while we're going to just wait around for Disney and Hollywood to turn their big ship around for the next 3 years, dude, go out and get it. Like, this is your time to shine. This is it. Go get it. Write your script, write your book, do something, start a YouTube channel, be alternative media. This 100%. Is your chance.
So yes, this has been confirmed. He'll remain at the helm from the Variety through 2026. Fulfilling prediction for many in the industry, he would not step down to CEO. Oh, we knew that. Man, it's been remarkable that how he was able to kind of put so much on that, I guess, the Shea Peck era, as if he had fucking nothing to do with it. And that to me is pretty remarkable, if nothing else.
That is Hollywood. That is Hollywood through and through. I mean, the stones on this guy to back out, knowing COVID was coming. By the way, he had inside dope way before we did, and to sit it out and then to come back going, I'm the savior. To what? You created all this shit.
Yeah.
So Bob Chapek, I think, Fall Guy is, off in Tahiti or wherever, with 5 hookers and, a nice golden parachute, and he's doing fine. And this guy, man, is just scum of the earth. Sorry, scum of the earth, man.
That is absolutely remarkable.
Sell out his own grandma.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. And yeah, and of course, Access Media and all these guys are gonna go right along with it, as if he had nothing to do with that era. But I'm interested to see, definitely as the failures continue, what will be the excuse there? Because I just don't see that them turning. There's nothing coming down the pipeline. Then you have these strikes, right, which is going to push everything back. But for Disney, there's nothing really coming down the pipeline that I could think of where they're like, this right here is just going to put us back in favor. They may release a film or so that may do okay, but the Marvels isn't going to save them for sure. And the MCU seems dead as a fucking doorknob.
I got an unpopular opinion that you'll probably agree with. I think Deadpool 3 is going to suck.
Oh yeah,
I think it's going to absolutely suck.
I don't think Jackman's going to save that.
Nope.
by any means. What have they shown us? I think that's the best example of what we have to go off of. I mean, they haven't shown us otherwise with the material it is that they're producing. So yeah, with that being said, like how in the fuck do they turn the ship around? I mean, turn the ship around. I think the ship's going somewhere, but it's down. It's not.
I don't think they can.
Yeah,
I think other companies will do it before them. I mean, we're already seeing the acknowledgement, like Tom Cruise just doing this little simple act of thanking the fans, and he puts out a freaking action movie with zero activism in it. It's just fun. Women look hot, crazy stunts done practically. Like that's all people want, I mean, so I think the action movie will come back in a big way. And I think other studios, there'll still be studios around. And I just think there'll be one that takes over for Disney while they just continue to shoot themselves in the foot. Yeah. Nobody's waiting around till 2026, 2027. Nobody gives a shit. And what do they have to show us? We can hear all the talk in the world, but I know that the Marvels is coming out. Captain Black, American Falcon is coming out.
That's true.
And what Agatha Harkness, Ironheart, Echo. These are all like, we haven't seen the Fantastic Four yet. We haven't seen.
We haven't. We got a casting for the Superman shit before we got one.
No,
Fantastic Four.
We're gonna get like 3 more Superman movies before we see a fucking X-Men movie.
Oh, hands down, hands fucking down. Like this, I don't know what the hell these guys over there are doing, but yeah, it's the thing. I know you've brought this up, and I love the way that you put it. Like the demand really isn't gonna go anywhere. You know what I mean? Like that's not happening. So at this point, it's like if you are creative, you have to be like excited, just like I am right now with the comic book industry. I think filmmakers, even with what I'm doing in the filmmaking stuff, with some of the animation stuff that we're starting to move on. Like I'm stoked. I'm excited because I'm like, look what I'm up against, and also look at the advantages that I have that they don't. Like for us to be able to pivot on a dime, they can't do that. For them to have, I mean, they have to commit because they throw so much money and time in this shit. They have to commit like to whatever it is that they do. So, rarely do you get a situation like Batgirl where it's like, all right, fuck it, just scrap it. Like that rarely doesn't happen. A lot of this stuff is coming out whether they want it to come out or not. Yeah, they have to. They absolutely have to put this stuff out. So it puts them in a bind. So if you're a creative, man, I've said this before. You've heard Gary say, a lot of people on our corner of the internet say this. You're probably not gonna get another time like this, maybe in modern history, where you have the gatekeepers per se, or the mainstream, the old guard, actively fucking themselves, right? While also the means right now being just completely decentralized. Technology's changing, is lending itself to your advantage. There might not be another time where you get it, this is your time to get in. Like if you got to create a bone in your body, you either get to creating or get with people, like-minded people that can sort of cover up on any deficiency it is. If you're not a businessman, get with one and get this thing figured out. Because like I said, this is going to be a great advantage. But before I get too damn far behind, let me fly through these super chats.
Let's do it.
With a 20 said, I'm not a fan of all side characters in the new Superman movie. I'm really worried that he is gonna try to force all these characters in this film to make this universe and not focus on Superman in his own movie. Oh, you're talking about with the upcoming Superman with the recent announcements with all these random ass characters. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, it almost goes against what the fuck they were acting like this was gonna be. If they're gonna be putting all these fucking characters in there, this isn't a grounded entry level Superman. There's no way that they can tell that story, right? So it almost is like a repeat of Otter. You know what I mean? In a sense, that's interesting. I never thought of it that way. That's a good point.
Like Nathan Fillion is Guy Gardner. If it's like a cameo or something like that, I'm fine with it. But man, what the hell?
Yeah.
There's too many. It's like, no, a villain and Superman. That's all you need. That's all you should be doing. You are starting from scratch. So I totally agree. This is just going to be guns, Snyderverse. It'll be the Gunnerverse.
Yeah.
And it's going to be quirky and ironic and meta, and which works for Guardians, doesn't work for Superman. Superman is a very traditional story. There's better directors out there who I think can handle it, including, not limited to, Matthew Vaughn, Brad Bird, who did The Incredibles, one of the greatest superhero movies ever made. I think those two guys could handle Superman better than he could, and probably would just do a more linear story. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
It would be a radical act to have Superman save a cat, save a busload of kids or something. That's what we want to see.
Yeah.
You don't want to see sad Superman like stalking his ex-girlfriend or blowing up half of a city or something like that. We just need Superman saving people.
Yep. Agreed 100%. We got Japanese Demon Lord with a 10 says, I'm poor and can't afford to get the book right now, but I want to give you some money to help you tear down the system. Long live the Iron Age. Hey man, you never have to apologize. These books ain't going nowhere. They are not going anywhere. So you come whenever you get it, and I appreciate the support in whatever way it is, be it word of mouth, whatever it is, man. I appreciate you, man, big time. So far with a pen 10 says, Hell 199, Gary, you were great on Critics Court. That was today, was it not?
That was today.
That was today. Yeah. Did you see Dylan was in Machu Picchu? Sned help. Ripper. Can't wait to add Isom 2 to my bookshelf. Awesome job. Wish could go to the con. Well, I appreciate that. Can't wait for Isom 2. Is actually going to start shipping for those first front half customers. Right at the last day of this month. So we are moving along this go around, man. I'm excited. We got CJ with a 20.
Which Dylan was in Machu Picchu? Mulvaney or which Dylan?
Yes, you gotta be
about Machu Picchu.
He says yes.
No. That's a long fall. That's all I'm gonna say.
We have CJ with a 20 says hail to both of you. You both battled through a lot to get where you are. Thanks for inspiring me. Keep up the great work. Appreciate that, CJ, and much love to you. That's not cheap, man. I see you all the time in everybody's chat. We all do, and I appreciate your support, man. Thank you. We got Luca with a 5. I think that's Australian. Says, Eric, you deserve all the success you've earned. Keep farming. Your detractors is all they are good for. Also, hello, Gary, he says. Yeah, as long as I can figure out ways to make money off of them now. Well, I mean, why let them hate for free, I guess. Igor with a 5. What's up, Igor? Says, I hope you and Nerdrotic have a good time tonight, boss. Excited for what the future holds. Thank Ripper fans for changing our lives. Big shout out to Igor, illustrator over here at Ripperverse.
What's up, Igor?
Yeah, he's awesome peoples, man, and obviously love working with him, man.
Is it Igor or Igor?
Igor, yeah. We have Jim with a 20. Says, I can't wait to meet you at Chris Gore's panel at Artist Alley. I'll bring a copy of Isom 1. I will sign it. Gabe will also have some for you guys. We sent him a bunch. Those are his. So you can get some off of him as well, and I'll be there just signing all kinds of random shit. So yeah, come through. Appreciate you, gentlemen. Yeah, look forward to seeing everybody on the panel. That should be fun. I'm gonna have a blast. We got Mark with a 5 says, Comic-Con really going to mess with a multi-million-dollar comic firm, one of the best-selling ones in the country, have a lawyer on speed. I personally don't think they're dumb enough to do that. I don't think that they'll just because a bunch of weirdos are going to be angry and aggravated that I'm going to be there. I doubt they do that, but if they did do it, we would reap the benefits. Let's say it wouldn't be a loss for me. It wouldn't be a loss for the company if they did something like that. The traction at this damn like I said, we'll break the bank on this. My site's gonna end up crashing again because we're not gonna be able to handle the traffic because it's gonna get crazy if they do that. But on a serious note, I just don't see them doing it. I don't think that's gonna be a problem. Random 58 with a 10 says, what's the chance we get Nathan Surdy for Yaira #1? For a cover, I have only one of the covers for Yaira 1 is completely finished. That's it. Turnitin did a cover, and that's the only ones done. Alpha Core, I have a bunch of options there, but we try to limit them. We'd only give you 3-4 covers at most there, so I have to kind of hone it in. One of them for sure is going to be there. But as far as the Yaira, there's room. That we have a little wiggle room on that, and that's being finished up. That'll probably be finished up next week. By the end of next week, the color on that book will be done. And now it'll just be lettering. So both of those books are nearly finished. We just have a couple of things that we're waiting on. What else we had? I read that one. Sheep, what's up? So I know you saw the cover, Eric. Gary, have you seen that sorry ass Death of Miss Marvel cover? This is what we mean when we say they don't care. That's fine. We won't either. Have you seen that?
I've seen the
I'm going to show you.
a while back. Yeah,
I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you one now. Let me see if I can find it. Because I know Second Street Marvel.
I also found your name. I found your name in the schedule, buddy.
Oh, you did? Okay, yeah.
We got to tweet it right now, and then
we'll. Oh yeah, all right. I'm gonna share it then. So I know Second Street Marvel shared that out. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. Oh man, these motherfuckers, and he posted it. It was a great way that he worded this when he said most shameful, because these motherfuckers had the nerve to basically just completely bite off the Legendaries, the first fucking graphic novel by way of Marvel. Yes, Jim Starlin, The Death of Captain Marvel. I probably have it. I know I have it back there somewhere. Matter of fact, let me grab it. Let me grab it real quick. Entertain you guys.
I got this.
Look at this shit. These guys.
So they're ripping off The Death of Captain America with that fallen friend, because they did a whole line of that. And then they're ripping off The Death of Captain Marvel. These people are they're just cannibalizing themselves. What a bunch of frauds. What a bunch of fracking frauds. By the way, everybody would be jumping up and down laughing. Yeah, The Death of Captain Marvel is a great story.
Amazing.
Great story.
And for them to try to bite off of this, oh man, and they're gonna bring her back. It's not like they're not gonna, because this one at least had meaning, right? That was the one
dead. Even when they brought him back,
yeah,
in Civil War, or was it?
It was because it was right around that era. Because I remember they had that zombie version of him.
Yeah, and there was the scroll version, and
the scroll version, right? So yeah, it's crazy how they'll keep that. She'll be back in fucking I don't know, shit. That probably next month. They're not gonna keep her permanently. She should for sure. It would make a lot more sense to kill her off, but they're not gonna do that. But yeah, shout out to Second Street Marvel. He keeps up with a lot of the modern material. I certainly don't. And yeah, that's shameful that they would bite off of this absolute fucking classic here. In The Death of Captain Marvel, Starlin and Lee, and oh man, it's such a crime. But those guys are bastards, man.
Yes, they are.
All right. What else we got? We got Dork Knight says one word: meritocracy. Yeah, that's what we're going to be pushing towards. It's going to be a great time. We got Baptiste with a 5. Want to send some love to you both. Hail Nerdrotic, hail the Riververse, and I plan to do all I can to be a part of your comic book universe. As Baptiste 702 with a 5. I appreciate that, and hail to you, man. Thank you, brother. We got Lieutenant Hughes with a 2. Congrats on 28,000. Have we hit 28,000? So donated. Wow. Road to 30K. Yeah, we're right around the corner on that. Yeah, it looks like the math does check out on that. I appreciate y'all. 1,600, over 1,600 books donated as well. So yeah, between those, that's about where we're at. So I appreciate all of you guys. And the short box, I have not given you guys an update on that today. Short box maybe will be done being colored by the end of the month, end of the week, and then we'll just get it packaged, get everything approved, and then we will be there. I saw someone else on the chat ask about San Diego Comic-Con. The panel that we're doing is going to be Thursday.
It's Thursday, and it's at 4:05 p.m. located, and it's so it's called Indie Filmmaker Survival Guide. Here, I can share it.
Yeah.
I'll share it with you.
All right, let me...
visual aid. not AIDS, but aid. All right. So here we go. We got struggling to get movies made with the territory of independent filmmakers. So how do creators survive and make films or comics, release those movies and make a profit? Panelists offer advice on funding, producing, marketing, and releasing a film or comics. Filmmakers and commenters Chris Gore from Attack of the Doc, Dante James, Verbal Riot, Dante's awesome, Ramesh Iyer, commercial director, another good dude. Think you've heard of this guy. Eric July, Rippaverse Comics, and X-Ray Girl's dad, Alan Ing. And Bobby Schwartz. Oh, Bobby Schwartz is going to be. Oh, maybe he. Oh, you know what? I think somebody backed out, and there might be somebody else there that you might know. That's all I can say.
So yes, we will be there. 405. You can catch us there, talking about exactly this. I'll be talking a lot about the animation. Certainly, that's the most I can contribute to this conversation. Really, on funding of all of that, how much shit costs, really dealing with that, and also storyboard and all that stuff. It's a process, certainly. So I'll be talking about that because it's going to fundamentally change. I think a lot of the production, definitely that you see, is going to be along these lines here. And what we did with that animation, I think that's going to be the future of production here. So I will be there Thursday. I will be there again before the panel. I'll also be there the following day. You can come holler at us, show a little love. It'll be a great time. So shout out to all of you, and I appreciate you. All right, let me just fly through the holy shit. So many of them came in. We got Headcase Laboratory. I always pronounce it like that because of Dexter. We have a 5. With a 5 says, I feel bad for saying this, but I think the shutdown was the best thing that could happen for entertainment. Well, it certainly opened people's eyes to a lot of the fuck shit that was happening in it. So I could see that. I could see that element of it. And a lot of it, again, the stuff was just self-inflicted wounds is what it was. And they're stupid. So let them be stupid. We got Caillou Rim, the Frozen with a 5. I'm hoping Craven the Hunter movie is good.
Hey, I hope it's good too. But it's not going to be good. It's Craven time. Oh God. Why not put Craven in a freaking Spider-Man movie? He's one of the best villains. He can be your Ra's al Ghul. They're practically the same villain.
It makes too much sense. We got Bruh. So with a 5 says Bruh, as he always does. We got Malicious with a 5 says they'll bungle Superman by upstaging him, adding too many whammons to tell him what time it is and give him a lame villain like Metallo. I don't understand the direction there and what the contribution is, but it doesn't sound like at all a grounded Superman film by any means. It sounds like they're, again, same things that people said were the mistakes of the Snyderverse sound like they are being repeated. So we got Blue Dim with a 10. So super excited for the Marvels. Looks to be the greatest story ever told, said nobody ever. Add you there in the first part you did. It says long live the 6'8 great. It says long live the Rippaverse. Blue Dim, I appreciate that. Thank you. Much love to you. We got Thomas Payne with a 2 Dragon Con appearance. I don't have any more up my sleeve right now. Just a bunch of conversations that are being had. I mean, we've been contacted a lot as of late, and then we got to pick our spots for sure. I do want to get on the ground and meet you guys, have a chat, but we just got to make it make sense is really what it is. And we still have a demand that we have to catch up to with our company. So,
it'd be ideal would be having like serious lead time on a con, right? So you could just shout that thing out for a couple of months.
Yeah.
That's not generally how even the big cons work, but if that could happen, that would be the most ideal thing because it would be packed.
Yeah.
Absolutely packed.
Yeah. I agree. That's the more preferable option. So if we can figure something out like that and make something happen, I think we make that happen for sure. We got Big Data, Big Facts with a 20 says, I don't understand where your detractors' motivation comes from. I really don't. Why are they willing puppets for gatekeepers when you aren't necessarily against what they're doing, just made an alternative? Well, it's a lot that you got to understand. There's a lot at play here. I'll answer this the best way that I can. Seriously. So you know, for one, yeah, it exists and it's outside of their realm of control. That's going to aggravate them. But you also got to understand what this is saying as well. This is why I say it's not just about me, it's about you guys as well. All the crappy things that they've called you, the racist, the misogynistic, the homophobics, all that stuff. The Rippaverse's existence and you guys is just crazy killer support for it and enthusiasm for it disproves all of that. So they're having to watch their stupid non-arguments be blown up in real time. So, like I say, it's about you guys as well. And because you know you have that rise in support, while also them not being able to do a goddamn thing about it, it aggravates the living shit out of them. So they ramp it up. It's just a lashing out. It's almost like a kid, you know what I mean? And because they understand that the usual tactics are it doesn't work around here. They can't. Who they gonna go to? They can't go to my distributor. You know what I mean? We're the fucking distributor. So it's literally they have to sit and watch this develop in real time. They have to watch something that people that they've had fun in their own sandbox, and they have to watch something be competitive to things that they said nobody could ever compete against. So it's just a lot riding on it. And it's not just about me as an individual. So it does come off as just irrational because it is. But they're just lashing out. This is the only thing that they know how to do. They're just mad. They're just fucking mad. And they'll probably never get over it. Jar with a 2 says, thoughts on Grace review of Sound of Freedom. I didn't see it. All I did was I heard it from what our guys over there at well, to the next main event that we talked about it. And apparently she had some things to say about I guess he said something crazy like there's no such thing as like a left-wing conspiracy or something like that. Yeah.
That's I mean, Grace is a genuine bimbo. Like she's a genuine ditzy bimbo who's got her hair bleached too much and it looks like Scarecrow and it's like seeped into what's left of her brain and she's just not very bright. Okay, she's a dim bulb. I think she's kind of harmless as a dim bulb. She has some horrific takes like Starro killing too many diverse people, focusing on John Cena's package too much, but she didn't even see the damn movie, right? And I was watching that part of the show where you guys were going over that CNN report, right? And honestly, I haven't seen it either. I'm going to see it Friday, okay? But I heard Jeremy, who has seen it, said the points they were making about QAnon, like that one bitch said, well, they go to their QAnon conventions. They're fucking anonymous. By the way, I'll see you all at the QAnon convention. I can't tell you where it is. I'll see you there. No, they haven't seen the movie. So they're just repeating the narratives like the fucking dumb NPCs that they are. This was made by Latino filmmakers. This was made by Fox. Fox fucking made this movie for mass distribution. Disney decided to shelve it, but then they sold it to Angel Studios, who's embarrassing the fuck out of them right now. So good for them. I can't. It's weird. I'm going to see it. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if I'm like, I can't wait like Mission Impossible 7 because I'm going to go watch a bunch of kids get trafficked. But you know, it needs to be out there, and it's such a weird, but on the nose position from the activists right now.
Sure.
So good. I am glad they are out there. This is the beauty of free speech. It allows people to give them enough rope to hang themselves.
That's fucking sure.
And that's what they're doing. And it's going to destroy the legacy media complex, which is just on its death throes right now. Let it happen. And we can go out there and counteract their argument. I don't want them being silent. I want them out there thinking it's a Q. I want them to build that narrative, say it's QAnon, and then we can argue against it. And the people who actually watch the film can go, you know, they don't actually push any of that messaging in the movie. It's really just about child trafficking being bad. And this is about the guy who started Operation Underground, an organization that I love, by the way. I absolutely can vouch for them. They're legit. They're a legit, you know, because like you just got to be careful with who you do charity drives for. So we did all the looking into them we needed to look into, and they're legit with their money. And they're one of the few I can say, yeah, absolutely. If you got a few bucks, you can send their way, $1, whatever, please do it, or at least share their stuff. It's really important what they're doing. But yeah, this whole fucking narrative is crazy. But Grace is just dumb.
Oh man, that hell for her.
It's humbling though. Like when I'm a big YouTube star, man, but Then you see Grace has 1 million subs.
Yeah, I know, right?
You're like, oh,
Like,
maybe not. Maybe I'm not that great.
got some catching up to do.
I'm not great at all. I'm just an idiot.
Oh man. My man's Marcos with a 5 says Eric got to get on figurines so Nerdrotic can put them up in his background collection. Yeah, we'll get there. That's a market that I've been humbled by for sure. Learning more about the ins and outs of it all, but I would love to obviously get in that market. I think a lot of people would love for us to be there. It's just a matter of taking the necessary steps that we have to take. But I agree.
As long as you have control. As long as you have, I heard you talking about that. And I could not agree more.
Yep.
Do not release that control in any way, shape, or form.
I just can't do it. Yep. Jose says with a 2. J. Scott Campbell, I recover. I love it. He's good. I don't know if he's taking commissions, but he's good.
I think a lot of them will be soon.
They won't have a choice, that's for sure. At this rate. So yeah, I'll be down for that. I'll be 100% down for that. JS Pena with a 2 says hype for Godzilla -1. Says
trailer looks cool as hell. I don't understand the -1 at all. I'll be honest with you. Maybe I'm a boomer. Maybe you can tell me in chat. But I don't get the -1, but the freaking trailer looked great. I was like, yeah, let's do it.
Appreciate you becoming a new member. By the way, we have an angry green boss with a 5. You still suck at grifting, Eric, in all seriousness. Very excited for Isom too. I can't wait for you to get it. And yes, I'm the worst at scamming people because I'm not very good at that. Appreciate that. We have Jordan. What's up? Says our history lesson. The Captain Marvel cover is actually copying the post Michelangelo's. Yes, it is. With Mary holding Christ after his crucifixion, much older than comics. It's very true. That's very true. We got Rhapsody with a 2 says, see Sound of Freedom. What is a short box? A short box is a box where you keep comic books in. I wish I had one near me, but I don't. They're all gonna be way back there. I don't have one near me, but yes, it's just a box that you put comics in. It perfectly fit for those. So the ones that we're gonna put out are going to have a actual design on them, and it's unique. It's not just repurposed art. That's why it takes a little bit. It's just legitimate art that's being colored right now, and holy shit, it's going to be the most detailed.
Short boxes, I highly don't do it. Long boxes are too heavy now, especially with the way things are printed. Do a short box that holds 175, 200 comics, depending if you bag and boarded them or not. And I love the ones they did. I've got my Daredevil ones for my Daredevil collection. And I love those. They're really, that was actually a good idea. From the big 2 to start doing that. And Image started doing it. Hellboy does it. Love it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. We have Albert says, hey, I appreciate you, man, Eric. With a Canadian 5 said, glad you had a good chat with Brian. Looked like you guys clicked. I thought you might. What am I referring to? Hold up. Oh yeah, that was fun. That was a fun little chat for sure. Hope to do it again. I think was it you that was recommending me be over there? But yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome.
Brian with
what's the name of that? We did stream it live. I almost said, is that out? Oh man, Albert, if you can post that information, because I would love people to go see the interview. Why am I?
Was it podcast guys or
why am I drawing Honey Badger? That's what it is. It's Honey Badger. Okay. Honey Badger. That's what it is. Honey Badger. Appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. Continuing on, because holy shit, there's a big one here. But we'll go through these first. Matthew with a 2 Superman at DCU should build towards Dark Side. Well, yeah, it should be a build, but that's the thing that doesn't seem like they're willing to do right now. They're trying to accelerate, and that fucked them over last time, and it looks like they're gonna repeat it again. So Sumerian with a 10 says, hail to you both, and thanks for all that you do to preserve pop culture. I'm spreading the word on the Riververse into the next generations. Appreciate that. Says my 15-year-old son is loving the Riververse. Oh, thank you. Says got him his own Isom comics. Well, that's how we win right there, man. And I appreciate you loving that there's youngsters that are getting in. That's right around the age group that I would recommend that definitely Isom story. So I appreciate that. I'm glad he's digging in, and we're doing everything that we can to make sure we're getting these books out. So shout out to you, man. We got a 50 from Brian. Says, I know it's no on the Lamborghini. Any chance of me getting a Ferrari? Nah, man. I'm gonna keep driving my car that I have that has 120,000 miles on it.
Yep.
That's
Same
what
here, man. I
yeah.
got 2011. It's got 135,000, 140,000 miles on it. Love it. Not gonna
Yeah.
change that shit.
That's the way to go. All right. Appreciate that 50, man. That's not cheap, man. But no Ferrari for me. No Lamborghinis. We're just gonna keep it simple. Big data, big facts of the 5 says claiming being inclusive while so uninclusive towards anything different than them because they are different. Hypocrisy. Oh well, that's the only thing they're good at. It's hypocrisy. NC with a 20 says it's really crazy what you two have done. Yeah, I've been very inspiring. 2 young people who have felt a lack of purpose and community in modern society. Hell, Texas, says NCA. I appreciate you, brother. I'm glad to see you here. We got well-read comments for the 5. Yes, I am being interviewed by you tomorrow morning. Or tomorrow night. Yes. Wait, I do have another one with somebody in the morning. Well-read comments. I appreciate that. 5 interview tomorrow at 10:30. It's gonna be fire. Don't miss it. I appreciate that. You have been doing a lot of those touching base, boots to the ground, people that cover comics and stuff every day. Just kind of touching base with all of you guys, and it's been fun talking about Isom and everything that's going on. So I know. So what's the latest thing that you watched that was dog shit? Was it Witcher? Was Witcher the last thing?
Yeah,
that
Witcher.
It was Witcher. Holy shit! So
Total dog shit.
How bad was that?
Just as bad as you thought it would be. They said it would be book accurate. You knew it wouldn't. And it was hyper focused on gay relationships.
Word.
Yep. And like all the hetero stuff is kind of taken out, which is hilarious. They actually took out a hetero relationship from the books, so they could put in another one. But the most egregious thing is you got Henry Cavill. He doesn't even put on armor, right? He doesn't even wear his Witcher armor, and he fights 3 monsters, only one by himself, and the one monster is a made up of teenage girl arms and legs that are being it's like it couldn't get more feminist if it fucking tried, and it's just such a bait and switch. And but the whole thing was dumb. It was like really incoherent because again, they don't know how to write. This woman doesn't know how to write. Lauren Schmidt Hissridge doesn't know how to write fantasy, doesn't know how to write men, doesn't know how to write women. And it was dog shit, and nobody's talking about it now. Does anybody, other than The Witcher sucking, has anybody even mentioned it? It's been out for barely 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
It's already gone. It's gone. Yeah.
You covering it was the only way that I knew that it was a thing. I wouldn't have even known. Like that shit flew well under the radar. So there's no way that they're getting a fucking return on that. Man, it's remarkable, man, watching these guys go franchise to franchise and things that should be the easiest to produce of the franchise that they're trying to depict, live action things. They just can't get out of their own way.
No, with The Witcher, you could almost go episodic with that one for a long time and just have, follow the events of the games if you want to. And that's what most people know. And just have The Witcher going on quests and killing monsters, and you sprinkle in the lore a little bit in the background from the books. And then, if you want to get into the political stuff, find your legs first.
Right.
That's where fantasy blossoms, and that's why it's the hardest thing to adapt. Plus, you just can't adapt fantasy unless you're into it. Like you not just kind of into it, you got to be fucking into it. Right. So that's why somebody tried to adapt Elric right now, it would fucking suck. If Amazon went ahead with Conan, they probably would have found the Gilmore Girls showrunner to fucking run fucking Conan. And he would have been following around 11 women who were all like covered head to toe in fur, and the riddle of steel would have come from his mom. It's like it's that's from the movie. And it's fucking ridiculous. You mentioned all the time a layup, Star Wars. I don't know. Let's maybe make a movie about Han, Luke, and Leia. Is that difficult? Marvel, you want to keep going? Maybe keep Captain America and Iron Man alive. Maybe recast them or something like that. I don't know. I know
you can't.
Crazy. Maybe do Fantastic Four and X-Men before you do Echo, Agatha Harkness, and Ironheart.
Maybe.
I guess this is very difficult for them, I guess.
We talked about that this past week, and on Tuesday night's main event, and I don't get it. Like you have, so this is me. Like, right, if I'm any sort of creative director, I got any money, any say in what's going on with Marvel. I'm talking the motherfucking day that the deal with Fox was finalized. I don't give a fuck what's that coming down the pipeline. I don't care. Move that shit out of the way. We pivot and we are fast tracking the
X-Men.
fucking X-Men. Like,
X-Men.
I mean, I'm full speed ahead, no time fucking wasted. That is okay. We already ended this arc, right? The next thing that we really want to center the Marvel Cinematic Universe around, it absolutely has to be the X-Men. And the X-Men have individual characters that can absolutely have their own fucking movie. Storm can have her own goddamn movie. Wolverine has already had those. He can have fucking more. You can have Cyclops, and you want to throw in some Rogue and Rogue and Gambit, right? You want to do that. All those guys can carry their own movies. That should have been the fast track, and then right in between there, of course, you have to get the Fantastic Four if you want to somehow utilize that to implement your Galactus's actual Galactics, not whatever the fuck they did with Silver Surfer shit. That if you want to have that end up being your next villain and stuff, like that sounds like a no-brainer, and they did fucking none of that. They said, you know what? We're going to commit to the Eternals. We're going to commit to all these characters that nobody fucking asked for whatsoever. I mean, imagine that window, that window, like right now, where you have outside of Deadpool 3, which is still, I doubt is going to be any fucking good. It's basically the Marvels, right? And then you got these series of Disney Plus shows, right? You got, like you mentioned, Echo and Ironheart and Agatha and fucking, I guess, Loki, right?
Loki season 2 is coming out. That's with Jonathan Majors.
Yeah. So that and just a bunch of shit that nobody, like, you can't really pinpoint, like, oh, this is right here is gonna get everybody enthusiastic about.
There's a show going on right now.
Oh yeah, we're not even fucking talking
Nobody talks about it. Nobody watches it. There's a fucking show on right now. So
that's a good point. That's a good point.
And like these fucking fools are out there going, all these successes for Marvel and Disney. Your show isn't a success if it's on a streaming network that lost $4 billion and millions of subscribers. I don't care the ifs, whens, buts, or hows. You're not making money, and you're spending money, a lot of it, on these shows that are bringing in no subscribers. I promise you. Listen, every once in a while, a live stream goes up or we put up a video that doesn't really hit with everybody. Okay?
Yeah.
And you could tell when the subscriber count goes beep.
Yep.
It hasn't happened a ton with me,
happens.
but a couple times it happens.
Yeah.
Live stream, guy whips his dick out. People get a little mad.
Yeah.
But but it doesn't happen like ever. But I promise you, the minute they released Miss Marvel and they saw zero gain from subs, they're like, fuck. and then that happened with the Mandalorian, their flagships.
Oh yeah.
They lost subscribers. So yes, absolutely. They're shitting themselves right now, and they don't know how to change. They're incapable of changing. So Disney is falling. It is absolutely falling. It will not recover. It had its time. This happens to every studio. Remember when Warner Brothers was on top of the world with Nolan and Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Like Warner Brothers was just killing everybody. Man. And they didn't have half the stuff that Disney had, but they had two really popular franchises that stayed in the spirit of that franchise. Are they accurate? Hell no, but they're in the spirit of those franchises, and I absolutely love most of the movies that came out. But no, now you're like, even when you could, I think it's less risky to recast Captain America and Iron Man than spit out an Echo and an Ironheart and a fucking, even with Moon Knight. Poor Moon Knight became a sidekick in his own fucking show. It's
like, for me, I'm like, why not? Like, what is the big shit with the whole recasting thing? Like, I don't see anything fucking wrong with that. Definitely because it's the characters that you're supposed to be centering this stuff around anyway. So who gives a shit,
right?
But yeah, like it's like
Joker Joker.
Yeah,
We've had multiple Jokers.
Yeah.
Most of them worked. Not
Yeah.
everyone. Jared Leto, but
Yeah.
even he didn't get a chance. Like the Joker, whether you like the Snyder cut, that little fucking thing at the end, that was a much better version of his Joker than the one in Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah, hands down.
But Joaquin Phoenix, some people are like Heath Ledger, it was the greatest performance without a doubt until Joaquin Phoenix came out and did a totally different, nuanced performance. And they're both great because you can have multiple people play the same character and then maybe have a different take on it. Or I would argue, especially with DC, maybe have an accurate Batman. If we had an accurate accurate Batman, that would be a first, a all-time first.
Yeah, an actual detective too. Like, I think that would be massive. And it's not like it.
There's other people that play Captain. It's not like Chris Evans played this really. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
He was good as Captain America, but he was a really stoic kind of like Robert Downey Jr. Gonna be tough to replace.
Yeah.
So maybe kind of look at it as, Roger Moore couldn't replace Sean Connery, but he did the best he could, and he did all right.
Yeah,
that's the way you got to look at it.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's an inevitable thing, and there's nothing wrong with it. Definitely, if you want to keep these stories, I look at it like change an artist on a fucking book. It's shit happens, and it's kind of like you got to move with it, and there's nothing wrong with it. But it's Disney. Yeah, I mean they're in the fucking tank. They got a bunch of idiots over there running the show. And again, it's seen in the fact that their decision making is fucking terrible. Like they just nothing seems to make sense, and they keep losing so much. They're losing so much money. Wait times at the one thing that they could depend on, which was their parks. They're not hitting it big right there during this is supposed to be their busy time, right? It's the summer. And they have wait times unlike they've had in the last decade. So it shows that for sure they're on the decline just as a brand and as a company. And a lot of these fuckers like the Kevin Feiges of the world, which people gave way too fucking much credit for, you're seeing that they don't really understand. They don't know these characters, and they don't know what the fuck it is that they're doing. And they almost don't care. And like I said, they've committed. And like I said, when they got, I remember us having all these conversations, and I know I certainly did with this whole Fox deal, and we thought that was going to be such a fucking game changer. And then what has that amounted to for them? Other than debt. What has the Fox deal given them?
And where did they hide that debt, Eric? Because we know Warner Brothers is $50 billion in debt.
Yeah.
Disney didn't have that liquid. $71 billion they paid for that. They better hope James Cameron makes Avatar for the next 100 years, because that's what they're going to need to recoup that loss. They don't know how to make Alien. They don't know how to make Predator. Fox couldn't make anything out of Alien and Predator when they did have them.
True.
You know what? They're going to end up Fox will end up making better X-Men movies for sure. Not everyone was good. Believe me, some of them really sucked, and some of them I really liked.
Yeah.
It was so stupid, and it was all over Hulu, which you could just buy Hulu.
Yeah,
buy Hulu. And it was all for streaming. That's going to be all for naught. We're going to be down to 2 or 3 streamers. Maybe 4.
Yeah, it's not how they're doing it is just not. It's not sustainable.
No, they should have stayed with we'll just do what Sony does. We'll just make shit. You buy it.
Yeah. They fucked that up. They dropped the ball on that. Disney Plus, everything, top to bottom. These guys have dropped the ball, and I'm sitting here looking at this damn shit company, and I'm like, what was the point? Like, I mean, you if anything, does anybody not have any sense over there where they're like, hey guys, we have all the fucking outside of the fucking Spider-Man and his little universe. We got everybody we fucking need. We can keep this bitch running for the next 10 to 20 years. We are good to go. We didn't have them at first. Fox had them. Well, now we got the fucking X-Men. Now we got the Fantastic Four. Now we got fucking Silver Surfer. We got all these goddamn characters. It shouldn't, I'm talking fast track. I don't care if I got 4 movies down the pipe. I'm like, look, either they're not getting made, we'll write them off, or they're gonna have to get pushed to the back. Like, simple as that. We have to build this next fucking phase, this upcoming phase around the X-Men, and they're not even fucking trying to do it. Like we mentioned earlier, they announced the Fantastic Four, and we don't know jack. That was what, 2019? Was that? It's been fucking 4 years. We have We don't.
2020.
Yeah, we don't know shit. We don't know. We don't know jack shit about that fucking movie, man. Nothing.
They lost a director. We know that they lost a director.
Yeah. Outside of that, we know nothing. So I don't know what the fuck other than sitting on these damn properties that they're even doing with the Fox and Marvel stuff that they were able to acquire in this deal. That should have been an absolute fucking game changer, man. So this is why I say that this was their shit to fuck up, right? Like this was like they had to go out of their way to drop this ball because you had everything set up for you. You were shitting out billion-dollar films. You couldn't do any wrong. So make no mistake, this was on them. They had a content problem, had no idea what they got cocky, right? I guess they figured, hell, we could shit. Hell, Captain Marvel made $1 billion, so we can do whatever the fuck we want. And they just got cocky and they felt like, we can turn Eternals into $1 billion. I don't know how much money
you can't if you look at just the bottom line, you can't argue with their logic. They're like, oh, we just put out a piece of dog shit and they just gave us $1 billion for it. Let's keep doing it. Yep. They must want that diversity stuff. That's what the DEI.
Yeah, that's what all these people we've employed.
Latondra told me that's what's popular, so I'm gonna listen to her. Yep. She's gone now, by the way. She's the DEI CEO. I didn't make up that name. Yeah. Dude, I think why would Iger come back? Why in the fuck would you come back? You had the fall guy. You had Bob Chapek, so you could blame every failure on him. You have more money than you and your grandkids and your great grandkids could ever fucking spend. They were talking about you for president. You could just retired and just fucking live your life. You're 71. You're not going to live that much longer.
No.
Ego. Yeah. That guy liked being the big dog in Hollywood. He loved everybody kissing his ass. They come back for ego. And I think it's great that he came back. And I think it's fantastic that they extended his contract. And I hope Kathleen Kennedy stays for another 5 years. It's going to burn. Bring it.
Yeah, that would be exciting. A Kathleen Kennedy extension would that'd be something special. Hey, do it, man. Go for it. Lucasfilm. Like, why not? I mean, double, triple down, quadruple down. You're fucking idiots.
Putting out fire with gasoline. That's literally fucking great.
I say go for it. But yeah, I think the ego is the perfect way to put it, man. Like, it's just cocky sons of bitches thinking they could do no wrong, hiring a bunch of people that had no idea what the fuck it is that they were doing. They didn't understand the characters. They don't understand storytelling at all, and they just figure like we can just put anybody in these positions and we can do no wrong. And they found out real fucking fast, man. This is not anything that they're going to be able to sustain. And I'm interested how long they keep this shit. I'm more intrigued by, and the same thing goes for Warner. I'm more intrigued by at what point do the L's pile up enough to where you really start entertaining selling off assets or licensing off assets again and getting back in that game, because
I think Zaslav would be the first to do it.
Yeah.
I think he even talked about it. He floated it out there. He's like, we'll license shit. And that Disney did float out that they could license stuff out, and they're going to have to go back to that. And people ask us all the time about the comics, and I think the easiest answer is it's not significant enough to even be bothered with right now.
Well,
it doesn't. It's there as an IP farm, so it kind of pays for itself that way. Although it does not bring them any profit at all.
No, you're not making any money off the publication.
No, not even off the merch anymore. Yeah. The merch is drying up. Like they made a lot of money off action figures, which is a rough market to make a lot of money off of, and t-shirts and stuff. But this is anecdotal, but I go to the movie theater a lot now that they're actually releasing movies. And you know what I don't see a lot of at the movie theater is teenagers, kids. I just don't.
Yeah,
20 somethings. But when I was a kid, the theater was filled with 16-year-olds, 14-year-olds. There's a little arcade off to the side.
Oh yeah,
we just don't fucking see that anymore because they don't care.
Yeah, so they don't give a shit.
It's aging out. All this shit, it's aging out.
It's a different, and they're gonna have to adjust. And if they don't adjust, they're just gonna go down with the ship. Like I said, creatives, this is your chance, man. You got your competitors don't know what the fuck it is that they're doing. I actually already read that, and
kids don't pay for stuff. I found a way, wasn't illegal, to pay for shit and get those movie tickets, but they were also $3. So
yeah, back then that's very true. It's Brian from Badger live streams. Yeah, that's why. Yes, and he did mention that he would love to have Nerdrotic there as well when I did it.
If kids don't pay for stuff, then explain video games to me.
Oh yeah. No, if they want it, you know what I
They
mean?
want it. They will pay
If
for
they
it.
want it, they'll figure
They'll
out the
get their
funds.
parents to pay for it.
Yeah,
Video game
100%,
industry, by the way, like overshadows Hollywood 100
100%,
to 1. Yep.
100%. Rhapsody with it too says poster quality is ridiculous. Action figures. Yeah, we everything from our books to our posters to our hats and shirts. We prioritize quality. This is something that everything I personally vetted. Those are printed right here. The shirts, right out of the DFW. So we make sure that we give you guys quality on everything. I want your material to last. I want definitely your merchandise. I want you to be able to rock those for years
And to
to
make it
come.
a unique experience too. Like, sorry, I know you got to get through these.
No, 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 you're good.
I love the holofoils coming out, the fucking chromiums and
Oh
the
yeah,
high quality. And it costs a few more bucks, but it's going to last longer and it's something unique. I
yeah.
love the poly bags. I loved everything about that shit in the 90s. Die cut, loved
Oh
it
yeah,
all.
oh yeah. Great
Remember, I
team.
can't. Oh God, what was the title? Help me, chat. Each title, I think it was Midnight Suns or something associated with Midnight Suns. The Supernaturals? Was it the Supernaturals? Where you got the mask? You got a fucking mask inside the cover of each character. I'm like, God damn, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, they used to do all. Oh man, back definitely through the '90s, they used to do all kinds of cool merchandise, stuff. Man, oh man, just great times all around.
Midnight Suns, something like that. Yeah.
Some indie film studio needs to make Fight Man, says Modelicious with a 2. Appreciate that. We got okay, sorry for all the typos. No big deal. Albert, I appreciate you with the 2. We have a drive by comment that says instead of these folk leech off of these franchises, instead of just making original stories they want to make, SJW stories they want to make, they could have read Saga to do it right and leave the classics alone. Well, nobody wants that shit. That's the thing. I mean, everything's coordinated. The reason why particularly social justice left goes towards material that already exists is because that's the only way they can get people to watch it. They know that if they came, and they have, you see what happened with Bros and all the gay shit that they come out with. Nobody goes to see it, and they call fans racist or sexist, or something like that. Like, so they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they can't really get a audience off creating their own like goofy shit. No, because nobody wants it. They're even their own supporters, people that are supposedly down with their causes, don't go buy it. So the reason why they try to funnel everything through these characters that everybody knows is because that's the one way that they know they can get eyes on it. So they'll take your character, and that's Taika Waititi, and just ruin them, as he said. It's what he's there to do, ruin your fucking lore. That's their approach. Carol with a 2, it says your agenda tomorrow. Yeah, I saw that got moved to the night. So appreciate that, Carol. She's if I didn't have her, who the fuck? I don't know.
Are you getting super chatted with like schedule? Yeah,
Yeah.
your agenda has updated.
Yeah.
July.
Yeah. I got it.
Hey,
I got it.
Dude, you monetize your employees. That's fucking great. I need to do that. X-Ray Girl, you can only talk to me through super chats from now on.
That's so good. Shout out to Carol, man. She is amazing, man. Like, she keeps me on schedule. If I didn't have her, I wouldn't know what the hell's going on half the goddamn time. Andrew with a 5 says, Eric, you have inspired me to write my own comic. Any advice on finding a good artist, or should I bite the bullet and learn how to draw? Well, I would say maybe start at. I'll show that here in a little bit. We have some fantastic artists that have entered in to the fan art contest this year. Let me add that there. Yeah, maybe get one of these guys. If you don't, there was someone, I can't remember his name, which artist. That was an entry in I think, was it Sketch maybe? That was an entry in last year's contest that said he wasn't the winner, but he said he got a commission off of this. So maybe go here to the fan art contest. We're constantly adding.
That looks great.
Yeah, there's some crazy amount of this sketch. This was a sketch that I was talking about. I think he was one of the runners up last year.
Oh, Donnie Danko's figure in there is fucking.
Oh yeah,
too.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Nice figure. Yeah, there's been a lot of crazy talent this go around. That's just really, really
Holy
good.
Shit.
Yeah, of a lot of these just people that these are just enthusiastic fans, man.
Wow.
You're seeing a lot of talent come through, and this is way more competitive than it was last year. Like holy shit, we got some crazy entries this year. So I would say if you're looking for someone, maybe reach out to some of these guys. They have their own take on a lot of the Isom characters introduced in Isom, as well as some of the newer ones.
The Zipatone logo. Scroll up a little bit. Scroll up a little bit. Right there, the middle. That Zipatone logo is fucking awesome.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, that is sick. That is sick. Got Shadran. There's a lot of Shadran art. I love that. With us, JL right there. Another Shadran art. I can't wait for you guys to learn a lot more about him. Everybody's loving a Blood Ruth. I did share this earlier from Art Attack. It's some crazy good art that has come out, and I'm glad you guys dig it. A lot of guys that have entered in. So if you, Andrew, are looking for some, there's a lot of talent right here that you can look these guys up. They have their own art pages, art station, DeviantArt, all that stuff. You can probably reach out to them, commission them for a little something. But ain't that, I mean, I'm not telling you don't learn to draw. I'm just saying that it may be worth looking into grabbing some support for these guys, or getting some work done by this just crazy amount of talent that we have right here in our own corner. Andrew, I appreciate that. We got Shane Boatwright with a 5 said, love Isom 1, just purchase Isom 2. Here's a little extra as a thank you. Godspeed. Thank you, Shane Boatwright. Can't wait for you to get Isom 2. If you liked Isom 1, you're going to thoroughly enjoy Isom 2. Learning some more about that character. Appreciate that. Matt G with a 1. We got Buck Dodger with a 5. Eric Nerdrotic. Let's not forget about Blade. It disappeared. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck they're doing with that. I forgot about that. Yeah.
I forgot about Blade because they did.
Yeah, because they did. Yeah, I did forget about that. So
if they did a straight like normal Blade story with Marshall Ali, it would be he's good. He would be really good as the character. I mean, not as good as Wesley Snipes in my opinion, but I think he'd be good. But
that's a hard act to follow.
But they're not. It's not. It's going to be a PG-13.
Oh yeah, milk toast. Yeah,
Blade and and walking around with his daughter.
That's probably I don't have any hope.
Anybody have a son anymore in Marvel?
That's a good point.
Is there any boys?
Even the fucking clones. I mean, you consider what happened with Logan. Even like damn clones with X-23. It's like everything's got to be fucking female.
Metamorpho is going to be in the Superman. What?
A word?
Why? In Superman Legacy, Metamorpho.
Oh wow, was that one of the castings?
Yeah. It's Anthony Corrigan.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Are they going like shit? It's starting to look like Batman Brave and the Bold, which
it's not a grounded, not a grounded Superman story. So that was a bait and switch for sure. Meth Font with a 5 said tasted their own medicine. Daily Wire by Steven Universe from Warner as it fixes it. I don't know about the CalArt shit. I don't know if they want any parts of that. They are working. I actually was I talked to those guys not too long. They're working on some stuff in animation as well. So
that sounds cool.
Yeah,
I'd love to take a crack at like once it becomes like truly free to write about is like Flash Gordon or Buck Rogers. That's what I'd like to take on some pulp stuff once that once the copyrights are completely free and not just restricted. But
yeah.
No, when I'm older, when I'm retired, I'll do that from YouTube. Because I'm not like you. I can't do all this. I don't know how you fucking do it, dude. I mean, aside from like you're 12, but and you still have energy, but I don't know how you do it.
Mr. Slob with a 10 said, love what you're doing. Maybe you've talked about this before, but curious on your thoughts on digital comics for the industry and not necessarily just things like comicsology, but webtoon. I just don't think for comics that'll ever be a dominating part of it. I think comics has a unique place in that it's a physical media. And that'll always be the driving spot. If you even look at it, some of the data, even when Comicron was coming up with the data, you saw digital comics wasn't a fucking drop in the pan. It wasn't anything. That just doesn't drive the market. It's a unique industry, and I think even in other parts of entertainment industries, you're starting to see a trend towards physical media. Definitely, as people are realizing that digital shit can be taken from them.
Did digital manga take over manga?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure there's digital manga.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it is. I mean, like I said, you want to get it pirated, yeah, for sure. But as far as like actual buyers, that are going to drive the company, it's always going to be the physical media. It's going to be those physical magazines, physical media. That's just what it is. So looking at those pirate numbers, I know people look at, oh, 1 million people watch this shit, but what good does that fucking do to the company? What's going to drive the company is going to be the physical medium. The digital sales are not going to drive their company. There's not enough of that to go around. And I that's not to say there isn't a market at all. I'm just saying, as far as the driving force for a comic book based company, if you're trying to make money, if the intention is to make money, it's going to be in physical media.
You got to print it.
You got to print it. This is how it is. I bring this up before. I brought this up before. A webtoon artist reached out to me, responding to my it was good faith. He was responding to my it's like a way too manga artist responded that video where I talked about like the starving artist dumb shit. And he was like, he saw that and he was like, man, he showed me stuff. He's like, man, I got 1 million people. And he's like, I have not figured out how to monetize. It's like, yeah, you got 1 million people watching you, reading your shit. And like, right. And you haven't figured out how to monetize. That's because there's no money in it. There's no real true money. Unless someone's paying you to produce, there's no money in that. So you got to be smart. It's going to be in physical media with comics. And I think that's just always going to be the case. So
yeah. And as comics devolves back into what it should be, a niche industry, this is why it's going to be much more advantageous to get into, because it's not going to be the corporates, the corpos don't get, or they're not going to give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
Which is going to make it the Wild West again. And you're just going to sell to comic fans, to comic fans.
Yep.
And that is a shrinking number, but it's still a decent number to where you can make a living off it, or at least it can be some side hustle.
Yeah, for sure.
Your other gig. And some people will make a very good living off it if they're smart about it and they stay into comics. Like most comic writers and artists had one foot out the door for Hollywood and all this other shit. They just wanted their Hollywood deal so they could stop doing it because they didn't really love drawing comics.
Yeah. No.
Eric loves comics.
Yep.
So it'll always be around as a niche industry. Fucking vinyl is still around. And that makes me so happy, by the way. Does it sound better than a CD? I don't think so, but it depends on how it was recorded and everything. But it looks better. It's better packaging. It's fun to have. I like vinyl. It's cool, and comics are just better packaging. It's the perfect medium. Yeah. It doesn't take this huge budget to make. It just takes your imagination, and it takes a few bucks, but it's the most doable thing.
Absolutely,
and it's not restricted by anything except your imagination and your will to work really hard on it, because they are not easy. If they were easy, everybody'd do it.
Yep. 100%. Yep. Monica with a 10 says the clowns of Foundation seem to protect garbage that takes a dive in sales. There are a bunch of stands who wouldn't know entertainment if it was a snake and bit them. Well, yeah, they're not fans of both of us here. Those guys can't stop doing videos about us. That's not surprising. But yeah, I mean, I don't even know if they're actually genuinely interested in the stuff it is that they're so protective of. I just don't think that they like us being real and being honest about what the fuck's happening in the industry, because we call it like it is. Carnell with a 20 says, hail Gary, hail Ripperverse. Eric, I'm looking forward to seeing you and the team tackle deaths in your stories. When it comes to killing off a character in the comics, what do you believe is the key for the writers to consider? Well, for me, we will never use death as a gimmick. As far as like, hey, we need to kill this character off and then we're going to bring them out back in 2 months, or a different version of the character that's just from a different reality, kind of like they did fucking Moondragon and File of Veil. And Marvel's universe is fucking stupid. But I want to take it serious. It was a point of time, and me and Chuck's talked about that. That used to be a big gimmick in comics where it's like, all right, how do we get people to get stoked about, I'll just fucking kill somebody off. Death of this character, death of that character. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to get in the habit. I want death to matter in our universe. So I'm not saying that I won't kill people off. I won't say that a character won't die, but the minimum that I can promise you is that we won't use that as like a gimmick to just get you to buy a book. I don't want to do that. If somebody ends up dying, it needs to matter for us. So that's how we approach it. I'm not telling other people how to approach it in they shit, but for us, we're going to be very careful with something like that. It needs to be something that's serious, and I think there's a lot of room for that. And if we're smart and we don't rely on that part of it as a gimmick for sure. Macabre Society with 1776. Hell, Gary, I spent $775. Holy shit! So far on campaign 2. Can't wait for the short box with CGC slabs fit in the short box. Nah,
no, you gotta have a special short box.
Yeah, there's the little black ones that you can get from BCW that are perfect for those, but like a standard short box, like what we're coming up with, they will not fit in that bad boy.
I really like what they're doing. They give them grooves in the back now.
Yeah,
where you could hang them up.
Yeah, you can hang them up. Yep.
That's like what took them so damn long to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, get yourself a special box for those CGCs.
Yep, most definitely. And then we have plenty of those that will be selling out. Ours will come in a special box. Each one of our CGC covers will come in its own unique kind of reverse box that we have, as well as you can keep it in there if you want. But as far as like the short box, it won't it won't fit in there. Our regular ones, I think we got the number up of Isom 2s. It's like 50 because obviously Isom 2 is a big book, 112 pages. So I think like 50 of them fit in the mock-up short box it is that we got. So a decent amount of them will fit in there for sure. So
yeah, and those BCW plastic ones they're affordable.
Yeah,
and they'll last forever.
Oh yeah, those are fucking sturdy, man. Those aren't going. I got a bunch of them back there. I keep a lot of my Superman shit in there. So yep. Okay, we got Darius with a 5. Says Marvel put out a new title for the Blade movie. It's called Blade Take Your Daughter to Work Tape. I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't even know if that's a joke or not.
These days it's hard to tell. I mean, fuck, man. It's yeah, I mean, looking at the list that they have, there's nothing else that I think is like to look forward to for Marvel. Not in any given sphere. So I don't know what this damn company is going to do in the next coming years. Same thing with Warner. They got debt that they got to figure out. So it's going to be interesting to see how DC plays or role that they play in there. I don't really know, but either way, it's just something for us to watch. The shit show that is the entertainment industry, and watch these guys just fuck themselves over time and time again. And like I've said, guys, this is your opportunity. You need to seize it. You need to seize it because holy shit, you might not get another one like what it is that we're about to have in the entertainment industry with between these strikes, all this other ridiculous shit that we'll know more about going into the later in today, if you will, tonight. We'll know a little more about that. But if that happens, man, I'm gonna be very interested to see where this fucking industry goes. It's gonna be intriguing, but we'll see. But Garrett, what else you got working on? I know any other videos, anything that you got coming out of the pipeline?
Yeah. Aside from getting ready for con, tomorrow, I got a video coming out. Pretty sure it's tomorrow. Yeah, it's tomorrow. I got to get it ready tonight. I just realized that because we're waiting on the thumbnail, but I've got a Disney video coming out, just kind of laughing at the fire. That'll be out tomorrow. Then tomorrow night, I'm going to be on Normal World with Dave Landau, and I'm back up in Dallas.
Yeah,
that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
So I'm back up in Dallas for a day, hanging out with Landau and Quarter Black. Maybe go to that restaurant again.
Yeah, that was good.
That's what I want to do. I'm just like, let's get the show over with and go to that restaurant.
Back to the restaurant. It was good.
That was good. And then Friday Night Tights with Josiah, and he's got some stuff to, I believe, announce with the Epic first.
Oh, yeah. You gotta pay attention to that.
Yep. So and then after that, it's Comic-Con with Eric July and Chris Gore Film Threat. What do you got coming up, dude? What's going on in your world?
Fuck, man. We're getting prepared for that. Now that we know that's for sure gonna be a thing, we're getting prepared for that. The short box is I've been working on. There's a lot of stuff that we had a great conversation. I had to actually leave. Tuesday night's main event. I had a conversation, big business deal that we're discussing as far as some of the out of comic book content that we're going to be producing. And yeah, between myself and the Saskas, man, there's so much that's going to be happening in this upcoming year, and we're really getting the ball moving on a lot of this stuff because we've been legitimized with Isom 2. Like Isom 2 really said, okay, yeah, we want this. there's a demand for it. So we're going to keep it up. And I think the latter half of this year, especially all of next year, is going to be a massive year for us in terms of just overall general content with what it is that we're doing. So it's going to be an exciting time. But that's what I'm going to be working on with that. And I can't wait to just let you guys in on some of the stuff that we're working on, man. In addition to we said that Chuck is another book that he did. That
Doc
is
Dixon. That is so crazy.
Yeah, I know, right? It's fucking nuts. It's still kind of surreal. Another book that he's done, that he's completed. Whew, I'm excited. I'm excited. It's generally excited. Let me get through these real quick. Got Darius with a 5 star put out. Oh, I just read that. Arthur with a 2 says I sent stream. Oh, yes, I do need to get to those. By the way, it was a bunch of those that came in. Okay, so for Streamlabs, we have Flash with a 15 says, doesn't get much better than a live stream with Eric. I am the comic industry now. I said that in the video. That pissed people off. July and Gary, the man bun and rings of power destroyer. Bueller. We got a 5 from HK base player says, Gary, tell Chris Gore he needs to name the Blu-ray version of Attack of the Doc the DV Doomsday edition.
He does because his segment on G4 was called DVD Doomsday.
Yeah,
so he would tell you what movies he liked every time.
Arthur Brown with a 50 says gonna buy some too in a few days. Just got to take my car to another mechanic to get some oil cleaned off the bottom. Thanks to the BS regulation, you need a special machine to do it, which my first mechanic didn't have. Oh, yeah, that sounds about right. Fuck the government, we will win.
Yep.
That sounds about right, Arthur. I hate to hear that, but look, these books ain't going nowhere, man. So whenever you guys decide to support, we're gonna be around, and I appreciate that. We got Sigma Comics with a 5, and he says it's this simple. If this man's comic is good, buy it. Support him for doing something you couldn't and bring him down. Stop bringing him down. Thank him and learn.
Oh my God, that avatar is great.
Oh, yeah,
that is old school comic book ad right there. That is
I love that. But yeah, most people have, I think, but there's going to be those, of course, the idiot outliers who look at our creative stuff as a threat to them and a threat to everything it is that they're doing. So they lash out, they start hating, and they start knocking, and there's nothing you can do to stop them, but it is what it is. I'm just glad that there are people that are at least getting in on it, because I do think it's an advantage, a great time to be an independent creative, and you can collaborate, you can do all types of awesome things to really make something special happen. So that's what I encourage everybody to do. Look at the success of what it is that we're having, and it's not just us. Look at all that success and go get out there and go be great. So there's that. But yes, that is going to, I think, wrap it up here. I think that's the last one.
To any comic book professionals that might be out there.
Yes,
reach out to Eric. So any of you who haven't been involved in telling fans to fuck themselves, have been kind of quiet in the background, reach out to Eric. If you're worth your salt, and if you work for the big two, he's a really good guy to work with, and that is the future. If anything, pick his brain. But like I know there's some talent out there that maybe who gives a shit what your so-called peers say.
True.
They're not your friends. They're not your friends. They're not even your peers if they want you to fucking starve.
Yep.
So Eric's a good guy. You should reach out to talk to him.
Appreciate that. Yeah, hit us up, man. This thing is a growing empire, and I want as many just good people to be a part of it, man. That's all I want. That's what it's about. So hit us up. But yeah, I appreciate each and every one of you guys for joining us tonight. Wasn't going to be the longest of a strand. Try to keep these under 2 hours for sure. And obviously we all got stuff to do. We know Gary has stuff to do, and I appreciate you joining us. Gary, obviously taking time out of your busy day. I know you stream like nonstop. You're on this person's stream, then you got to do a video and shit, man. So I know you're working, man. I appreciate you stopping by and chatting with
you, man.
Hell yeah.
It's my pleasure. Anytime.
Yeah.
I don't say no to drink, or I don't say no to Eric. So,
Hell yeah. Shout out. But yeah, we'll be linking up for sure next week. At the con, so you guys can actually catch both of us there, as well as some of our colleagues as well. We'll have some couple of guys from the Ripperverse that you can meet as well. Gabe, of course, will be there. So you can check that out as well. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate Gary for hanging out with us. We are going to wrap it up here. I will see you guys next time. And until next time, as I always say, y'all be easy. Peace out.
Take care.